The True Story of Nicholas Smith and Phoebe Snedker, Part 4. So where were we? Phoebes had flown home for her 21st birthday party and had an absolutely amazing time by the looks of it. You know, brother Jake and his partner were there to surprise her. And, like I said at the end of the last video, I couldn't afford to get out there. And I know that money is not everything, but in retrospect, yeah, I should have done everything I could just to get out there and be with her. But I had another flight booked to go out and see her. And so in between the November when she went back and the February when I was due to come back out again, lots and lots of pictures of us being silly. That's my attempt at a Christmas tree. On Christmas Day, every year, Phoebes and her mum go to the hospital just to spread some joy, and the videos always absolutely crack me up. In terms of Christmas presents for her, I wish I could have delivered myself, but I think what brought her even more joy was tie-dye Converse. The look on her face when she opened them was, something I'll never forget. If you could design a pair of shoes specifically for Phoebes, I'm pretty sure those would probably be it. But in between then and when I came out, just lots more pictures of us being silly, lots more videos, lots and lots and lots of calls and messages just to tell each other how much we miss and love each other and let us know what each other is up to. Even pictures of, my eyes don't look half bad there, to be fair. Not as amazing as hers, obviously. Even when I'm trying to put some effects on some pictures just to make me look slightly more interesting. But the time came when I managed to get back out to Perth, a long flight. Luckily, the last picture Phoebe sent me just before I got on the plane, and I had the whole road to myself, at least for the first leg, after a few interesting flights over the years where I've been chatted up by a lovely guy from Doha on the first year on the way out there. But at least this time I got to just chill out. And then finally, when I arrived, literally just a quick shower and off to go and see the boys again, Phoebe's cousins, Hugo and Darcy, for a good old-fashioned barbecue. That's... I don't know why I've done that voice. My Aussie voice really, really needs work. Anyways, the next day we headed to the park to go and meet Phoebe's cousin Emma and her daughters Lola, and that's me holding Livy, of which I didn't realise that eating a corn on the cob was just a snack, but nonetheless, the girls are just absolutely beautiful and just amazing to be around. We had a fun day there. And then that night we were heading into Fremantle for this highway to hell thing, of which here's a little video of what it was all about. So they kind of closed off the whole of the town for the day in tribute to AC/DC. Absolutely madness. But we were meeting Phoebe's friend Emma and some of her friends at Monument Park beforehand, so we thought we'd go and get a few drinks just before, and that's kind of us stopping halfway just for a quick smooch, and then that's us watching the sunset at Monument Park, of which I don't know if that's my fake laugh or I'm actually saying something hilarious, or something at least I found hilarious. I don't think Phoebe finds me that funny, which she's very funny. Maybe she knows I'm funny, she just doesn't want to admit it. But nonetheless, a long few days of which my jet lag is always a little bit all over the place, and we know how much Phoebes loves a nap. But we went to the dog beach just round the corner from Phoebe's mum's house, and that's one of my favourite pictures of us. Just look at how incredibly beautiful she is. She is just perfection. Then on the Sunday nights, we went to Cottesloe Beach for this weird kind of, I think it was called Monuments in the Park or something like that. Loads of just really random and incredible structures. One of Homer Simpson that was just absolutely amazing. But there's us, just being a fun little happy couple. Phoebe's mum came with us. There's a video of them being silly on the beach, and a video of me and Phoebe's, of which I've never been kind of social media savvy, or I never know what to do, so I'll just give her a little wave. The next day we went to the zoo with Phoebe's cousin Emma and the girls and Jake, another one of Phoebe's cousins. I just had an absolutely amazing day having a look around, and I was aware, just by watching the news, that the coronavirus was starting to be a bit more of a thing. And then the toilet roll kind of issue happened. So we had to drive around to try and find some toilet rolls for, well, most of Phoebe's family, really. And after about 7 or 8 attempts, we managed to find some. Just that look of achievement is just absolutely incredible. Another one of our day outs was to Adventure World, where again we went with Emma and the girls, and there was this really kind of scary slide that Phoebes really wanted me to go on with her. We ended up going on it with another couple as well. And I was that nervous. If ever you see me kind of close up face to face, have a look. My big front teeth, there's a tiny little bit missing where I was biting down on them so hard because I was so nervous about going down this big slide that a bit of tooth actually came off. Of which that's one of those things I really feel I need to work on. Just to be a bit more adventurous. Say yes to life a little bit more, because life is all about adventures. That weekend we went over and stayed at one of Phoebe's cousins' his girlfriend's houses, about half an hour or so away from Phoebe's mum's, and again, absolutely wonderful. I got to experience a swag for the first time ever, of which I didn't know if it was a bit of a joke or just the fact that I'm really, really gullible, but no, it's just kind of like a big sleeping bag which we slept out in, and again, it was different. I've never camped before, but I got to be there with Phoebe, so it didn't matter, and it was absolutely amazing. I don't think we got to bed until about 4-ish or so. But then the next day there was a big UFC fight on, which Phoebe's cousins Hugo and Darcy very graciously took me to, of which I've never really been in a kind of spit and sawdust Aussie pub before, so it was best I just probably let those guys do the ordering and just keep myself to myself and kind of look like I fitted in. But that was the fight where that lady's head ended up looking like something out of Alien, of which I'll never forget that. Even these big, angry Aussie guys were sat there like, ooh, crumbs. Well, maybe they didn't say crumbs, but yeah, you get the idea. A few days before that, Phoebe's dad and partner Zoe had very, very generously offered to pay for me and Phoebe to go skydiving, of which we were just sat having a nice dinner. And Zoe suggested it, and Phoebe's eyes lit up. Mine very much did not. I'm not a fan of flying. I'm not really a fan of dying either to that point, but Phoebes wanted to do it, so of course I can't say no to her really. In fact, I don't think I ever could. So we drove up to Jurien Bay. We spent the nights in a little chalet, had a little bit of dinner on site, and then it was time to go and jump out of an aeroplane, which to be honest was the scariest thing I think I've ever done. I mean, that morning I couldn't eat, I was that nervous. But then, as we were going up in the plane, I was just thinking, right, there were guys younger than me during the Second World War who jumped out of a plane with probably not that much training or not some lovely German guy strapped to him, and they had to jump out and start shooting people. This is even half as bad as that, and I just kept trying to rationalise things, but yeah, we jumped out of a plane at 14,000 feet, and Phoebes made me go first because she knew if she had gone first, I definitely would have backed out. And that was very clever from her, because I absolutely would have done. So we jumped out of the plane, and then we went and chilled out on the beach. I literally felt like my insides had been rearranged. It was a weird feeling. I think we ended up getting a Subway, and then we ended up just kind of chilling out in the car before we went down to Phoebes' uncle's farm, of which, again, I've never been to a farm before. And Uncle Mike and Cousin Paddy are just two of the most amazing guys. We sat out the front, just kind of hanging out, chatting. And then it gets to about 9 o'clock, and Mike says, oh, we probably should go in. And me being me, I start to think, oh, God, are there going to be like wolves or bears or something? And he said, no, Survivor starts at 9 o'clock. I'll never miss it. I was like, oh. He said, do you want the Wi-Fi password? I was like, my pre-misconceptions about farm life in Western Australia had been grossly exaggerated. But we had a wonderful time there. Even went out in the truck, just going around the farm with Paddy and Phoebe about 2:30, 3 o'clock or so in the morning until I literally just passed out. And the next day, we drove back. We had dinner with some of Phoebe's friends, Katie and Toby, where they took this picture of us, which is, I think, my favourite picture of me and Phoebe's. To the point I got it blown up on a canvas. Can't remember if it's for a birthday or for my birthday. Either ways, Phoebe's mum has that canvas somewhere, and it was an absolutely amazing night just getting to hang out with Katie and Toby. Finally got to meet Ginger, one of Phoebe's best friends. We went to a little gig in the middle of Fremantle before we headed back home and just kind of hung out, and she's absolutely amazing. We'll talk about her a little bit more in the next video. That night, it was one of my best friend's birthdays, so we created a little happy birthday message just because I was about 9,000 or so miles away. One of the next nights, we went round to go and see a few more of Phoebe's friends, Harvey and Danny, and had a bit of pizza and just kind of chilled out there. Another one of the nights, we got to hang out with Roisin and Mitch again in one of the pubs in Fremantle. Just kind of hang out, and it's good to see them. They are both just absolutely amazing people. And then the day finally came around that I had to go back again. Now, one of Phoebe's close friends, Lily, had been diagnosed with a terminal illness. And I guess same with many people who suffer. There are good days and very much bad days. But Lily decided to throw a party the day I was leaving, just have all the family and friends around. And that's one of the pictures about an hour or so before I headed home. And Phoebe said maybe you won't get to see her again. Maybe that's why. She wanted a picture of us all together. And it was a lovely party, and I got to give her a hug and that photo. And then, it was time for me to leave again. And that was hard. We just kept hugging and kissing each other at the airport. Almost like, because of the virus, we didn't know how serious it was, and we really had no idea when we were ever going to see each other again, or maybe it was going to be too hard and we might not ever see each other again. This could be it, and that was the hardest thing I'll ever have to do. I don't intend in ever leaving her again if we ever get the chance to be together again. And then, not very long after I got back to the UK, Lily passed away. And I just wish I could have been there for Phoebe. That broke her. And I just wished I could have just gone back in time, and as opposed to leaving her, because I feel she really, really needed me at that point. I would have just made up some excuse, stayed there for a bit longer, just to be there for her when Lily went. And that was a really hard time. And the only light that came out of this awful time for everyone that knew Lily was that Lily's dog had a few puppies, and Phoebe took one home. And I can't be there at the moment because of the lockdown, but our little dog Rain can be, and Phoebe gives her all of her love, which is a lot. The reason I love Phoebe is she has the biggest heart in the world. She cares so much about other people. She has so much love to give. And our little dog gets all of that love.